Hello, subscribers. I tried to post a video yesterday and it wouldn't load. So I am refilming it all in one piece because I had to break it apart yesterday. Long story short, wouldn't load up onto Facebook. So now I am trying this again. I don't know what this hair is doing here. So I will go through and show you guys what is in your kit this month. I wanted to give you guys something a little bit bigger than usual. I know we always do a lot of small projects, but every couple months I like to do something generic that you guys can use at all times. This little stool is great for plants, small plants. Obviously not big ones. I don't think it'll hold too much weight, but any of the smaller kits that you have from previous months, this will be a great way to display them. Like I always say, you do not need a tiered tray for a tiered tray kit. I have a bathroom one on my bathroom shelves in our half bath, and most of the time I have like little placements or little just like signs set on shelves, and it looks so cute. So this would be great for any of the past smaller kits that we've had. So I can't wait to see how you dress it all up. So in your kit, you will have your package with all of your wood items in there. This is new wood that I am using. I don't know if I will use it again. It did char on the sides, not like normal, and I did try my best to wipe every single piece off. So if you do get a little black on your hands, I apologize, but I had to use it because I had to. So, I don't know if I'll be using it again, like I said. You'll have your postcard in there that you're able to frame, put in a 5x7 frame. I know you guys have gotten some frames at Dollar General, Dollar Tree. You could repaint the frame to match your decor that you paint with us. So that's kind of cute. It's got the stool instructions on the back. I did read all of your surveys and I took all of it to heart to try to do my best to make some changes. I did write out stool instructions, so it's a little bit different than usual. And then I tried to number my 4. Did not show up as well as I wanted to, but I tried to number the instruction with what was showing up here to give it a better view of what you see. If I happen to miss something, cards, let me know. I can always send them in the mail. I try my best to get everything in the box when it goes, but sometimes when you pack 140, I make mistakes sometimes. You have your thank you card that has to join our subscription box group that you're in and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I am trying to grow my TikTok account. So if you guys are on there, give us a follow. And then this has all of your supplies except your chip brush. The only thing not on here is your chip brush because I added that last minute. You've got your 4 paints. You've got your little succulent plants here. Mine is painted with the light brown, and then I just painted the green and the off-white for just the pots, and they're in the little stands. Now these are glued in there. I did yesterday when I painted my stool, I did the darker color and then the lighter color brown as the inside, and it is not glued together. But this is what the dark looks like, and this is what the lighter looks like if you want to kind of throw that down, kind of see what maybe you would like better. Here, I'll show you this one. And that size 2. So cute. They look great both ways, I think. You got your 4 sponges and extra little brushes I have here. So let me show you how to put the stand together. I personally painted my stand after I had put it together. So I think you can do it either way. I did not worry about what my edges look like because I wanted it to look rustic. So if you got paint on the sides, I think it's fine. Here's the darker one that I did yesterday in my how-to video that didn't upload. So I dry brushed colors all over it. That's what this one looks like. It's kind of hard to tell the coloring a little bit, but this is the dark and then this is the light one. So this was my original one that I did, but if you can see the edges, like I was not very careful with it, but I'm okay with it. I like the way that it looks. So that is the lighter shade. Let me set that up there. Okay. So your succulents, obviously, you can paint the bottom half to be the pot color, paint it all in one color, paint it however you'd like. You're gonna glue those pieces together. Make sure when you are gluing them though, that they meet perfectly at the bottom. So this little piece down here is smooth. So when it goes to, I don't know if this is the right slot or not. When it goes into the slot, that it fits fine. So it has to be glued just perfectly down here. So I would take the glue, I would just dab a little bit on the edge. It doesn't need to be all over. I did do like a few on the lines here and then maybe a little bit down at the bottom, and then squeeze it together, let it hold. It is a super glued gel, so it does take a couple seconds longer to dry than the regular super glue. And then when it's all dry, then you can set it in your stand like that. So for the stand, I'm gonna have so many of these made. Okay, so you've got your bottom piece to your stand, okay? So these little rectangle pieces right here go face down, okay? So it's gonna go like this. You're gonna take these little rectangle slots, I'll just do the other one, and your glue. So super glue, it is super glue. It will glue your fingers together. Try not to get any on your hands. If you do, a nail file will take it right off. But it has like a little poker at the end of the lid. You're gonna just take it off. You're gonna poke the seal and then put it back on and then take your lid off. Do not squeeze too much. A little bit comes out and it goes a long way. So I just take the glue. I'm going to put a little bit down the ledge. I'll do a little bit on the end. Doesn't have to be too much. I mean, I barely put like any on there. Set that over here. And I'm gonna glue these little ledges onto the board where the rectangle is. It's kind of exploding out of there. I usually like try to put the glue, like the cap back on, because it does kind of like start coming out if it's like setting there. So you are gonna glue these rectangle pieces on here like so. Oh my gosh, the train's going. I hope it's not loud. So they're gonna go on here just like this, okay? So you have two of everything. You have two of these ledges that go on the bottom. You have two of these ledges that go on the top, and then you have two legs. So your legs, I would put the nicer cut, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna paint it anyway, but the nicer cut maybe out, set them in the ledge, okay? Kind of maybe wait till it's dry so that we know that they stand in there. And then you're going to take these and they go into these slots. So obviously this is gonna fall because it's not, it just wedges in, but it's better to put this in with the legs together than try to get it in after it's glued. So I put the longer pieces in the slots, like so. And then very carefully, yesterday when I did this as my example, oh, I think I just wiped black on my head. I dropped the legs. It was kind of funny. So you're gonna miss that unless it does it again. I'm gonna take the glue and I'm just gonna run it down the center of the rectangle here where the leg goes to set in. And that's gonna go like so. And then I'm gonna go to the other side. I may have to grab more glue because this is one of my used glues. And then I'm gonna lift this leg out. Same thing, I'm gonna go down the middle of the leg and I'm going to set this in there. Just like that. Kind of hold these in so they go up a little bit. So when you flip it, those pieces are just gonna fall down. Make sure your legs are on there straight. Push it down a little bit, just a little bit, because it is still a little wobbly until you get those side pieces on. And then that is how that is made. So I'm gonna let that dry for just a second. I'm going to have to grab another glue. Okay, I've got my new tube of glue because I ran out. I had already used this other tube from before. So this is glued together. It's on pretty good. I'm going to lay it on its side. I'm going to take one of these pieces, and you can see the slats kind of go at an angle. So when I lay it down onto the board, it's going to look like that. So it's going to glue just at the top of your board, just like that. So I think it's easier once the glue is dried on here to set it down and then put some glue on the edge of the leg. Like I said, a little bit goes a long way. I know I'm going to put it almost to the top, so I just put my glue right up there. And now I have my, move it just so I can see. And now I have the side of my piece glued together. I'm gonna pull it back down until it dries because it's gonna fall down. So we're gonna let that dry for a second. You have your 4 paint colors. I mean, obviously, if you guys have acrylic paints or this is latex paint, it does stain your clothes. It will not stain your hands. It comes right off. But if you have acrylic paints at home, you're more than welcome to paint this however you'd like. You don't have to use my paint colors. That's just an option. And I'll show you how I dry brushed mine. Okay, so once that is dry on there, that's what that is gonna look like. And then you can go ahead and do your other side. Hold that down so that that dries. And then I'm gonna go ahead and dry brush or use some of the light brown paint that I have. These paint pods are great. They should last. If you have any extra, you can always save it for other kits if you want to save yours. But I'll show you how I dry brushed mine. Okay, so now your stool is together. Love this. I love it. I love it. Okay, so once the stool is together, I am going to just take my brush and I am going to just paint this. I'm going to start with just using my lid, and I am just going to make some swipes across the top. Get my edges. Like I said, I'm adding a couple colors, so I'm not going to be so perfect about getting my paint together. And again, if you want this to look a little neater, maybe not dry brushed or anything, you can always paint this beforehand. You could use a sponge. You could use a watered down sponge to make a stain look with the dark brown color. But this, I've left some of the wood showing and I've just painted it. You could leave it just like this too. I think that that looks great because it looks rustic. It looks like it's been sanded maybe. And so some of the paint is worn off, which is a great look. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of the off-white. So when you're dry brushing, you are going to want to dip your, rearrange myself here. I always keep a paper towel next to me, just in case I need to wipe my hands off or whatever, but this is good for when you're dry brushing. So I don't want a huge glob of paint on here. I did do that with the leg. I got kind of sloppy with the leg right here, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but I was just hurrying through that part. So I always dip my paint into, or my brush into the paint, wipe it off on the side. I will take the paper towel and I will just kind of like dab a little off. I don't want to dab off too much. But then I'm just going to go to my board. I always like to do the edges because I feel like it finishes it off. If your paint is still a little wet from before, you could like take your brush and rub it in and it'll almost like smear it together and melt the colors. But if you don't want that look, then you just kind of want to lightly, like feather dust is what I used to always say at the shop when I would show people how to dry brush. Take your little feather duster and I'm probably not going to add any dark. I don't want this to be too dark. I like the lighter color. So then I've just added that light to it. I love it. Like, this is good for me. That's barely any paint I've used. I like the way it looks. I like the way it's finished. So once I finish this whole thing, again, like I said, you could paint your pieces before you glue it together, or if you're not so worried about the edges being, having a little paint on them, you can paint it when it's glued together. It kind of makes it a little easier, I think. Obviously it's kind of, you're gonna have to get in there to get the underneath of the legs and stuff, but we'll paint one side of it to show you. And you want to wait till it's dry, because you can see it's not totally dry right there. And I kind of like it on the edge of the, like on this dark edge here. I like the way that looks. And then I'm just gonna go back over it with the brown. So it's gonna be almost the same thing. I did the brown first on the top, and now I'll do the brown second on the sides and the legs. And again, you want your stool to be dry when you're doing this, because I don't want you guys to get it together, start painting, and then it kind of falls apart. That was a little bit too much. Okay, so I painted the front and I painted the sides. See how the sides look? Could have got a little bit better up here. There we go. But that is the way that my stool, this one is a little wide. This top wasn't perfectly straight. So that's the way it looks. So that's what dry brushing is. So you have like your colors to choose from. You can do all 3 colors. You can do 2 colors, whatever works for you. Use the paint sparingly though, like it doesn't have to be every square inch covered with lots of paint. It needs to be done lightly so that you have enough paint for all of the edges. But I try out the dry brushing and see how you like it and see what works for you. I'll put my little plants on here to show you what they look like on this one. I added some wooden beads and a candle on mine, and I like the way that that turned out. Here's the dark colors. This is not the right stand. This one needs to be painted because I didn't have the right stand for it at first. Oops. I don't think that's the right one either. So there's the dark and there is the light. So you guys choose which one you like. Don't post pictures just yet. We have some that still have to be picked up, and they just got shipped out yesterday. So you all don't even have them yet. We have some friends in California and Florida and Virginia. So I know it maybe takes a little bit to get to you guys. So hold off on pictures, and I cannot wait to see your projects. I will upload the video. I'm trying to get them all uploaded on the website so that they're always there and they're kind of easy to find. So I'm working on that. We will have a photo contest again this month. I didn't do it last month. We were going to change things up. I'm not changing it. I like the photo contest. I think it works. I think it's good for you guys to share your photos with each other and what else was I gonna say? Oh, yes, we're gonna do the paint night. So if you have old kits, I'm gonna do a Zoom party. So I'm gonna work on a kit. You guys can work on a kit. Whether it doesn't matter which one it was, if it's just been sitting there and it needs to get worked on, we're gonna have a wind it down Wednesday, and I will post a date here soon for that. So hope you guys enjoy this kit, and I cannot wait to see your finished projects.